People who have found their friends' secret Reddit accounts. What was the most shocking thing you found out about them? How much my friend valued our group. They write the most atrocious fanfic. He knew we knew and trolled us for years. Someone found mine and now they can't stop giving me it for what I comment. I found my co-worker's Reddit account recently. Apparently she feels really invalidated and underappreciated in her position, which really surprised me because she's a highly influential manager who makes probably more than 3x as much as me. Edit, a word. Found my wife's account. It wasn't a secret account per se, but then again I didn't know she even had an account to begin with. Turns out she's a really nice person who posts positive and uplifting things to people who usually need to hear it. 10/10 would marry again. That my friend was suicidal. Nobody knew until one of us had to go onto his laptop to turn in an assignment for one of his classes. He thought everyone was just playing with him and that we as his friends secretly loathed him. When we told him, he became mad and deleted his Reddit and said it was all a joke. He killed himself 9 months later. I miss you, Shajid. How can someone tag the guy who jacked it to his friend's Reddit then told her BF? I found a friend's Reddit account and discovered that he recently had his circumcision performed at birth reversed. Found a family member's account and was unpleasantly surprised by how many disparaging comments there were about me and my family. They like their wife. He mocks my wife is my best friend guy, but on Reddit he mentions her in every comment as a subtle way to flaunt the fact he got laid. I don't usually share terribly incriminating stuff, but my nephew did discover a post in which I suggested jerking off directly into the toilets to avoid cleanup. Embarrassing, but I hope he found it to be valuable practical advice. A wide and vast array of colorful kinks. No judgment here. This originally started as a throwaway for the same reason. I see you like girls wearing thigh highs covered in cum. Mark, I see you. And I don't judge you. But I'll never tell him I found it. My ex introduced me to Reddit and I didn't use it much then. But now that I do use it, I saw our old first messages and decided to creep on his account to see what he was up to. Posted a lot of jokes about my stupid ex, so that kind of hurt. My other ex, more recent, posted a pic of my nose to our MacLeod. That kinda stung lmayo. Edit, here's my nose weirdos. He's got an array of homoerotic fetishes. Found my boyfriend trying to cheat on me. Everyone nervously scrolls through to see if they've been found. Nothing all that interesting. Also, don't use your gamertag, Skype name, Steam name etc. as your Reddit name. She does some very interesting cosplays and photo shoots. I shouldn't have been too surprised as some of her Facebook pics were interesting, but these were much more so. He was my friend, I thought. Turns out he made a whole incel inspired post about how I was an idiot slut who wouldn't sleep with him. It sounded so similar I was pretty sure it was him. A couple of clicks throughout his profile and it was 100% him. Not friends anymore. This is a bit different, but my friend from when I was doing roller derby found me on here. We chatted. Nothing too surprising for either of us in our posts except I'm bipolar, which she didn't know. The hardest thing is she died 3 weeks ago. I keep going to her account here and her last messages to me as it makes me feel better to know she's still on Reddit in a weird way. She had epilepsy and died suddenly in her sleep before her 33rd birthday, so it was very unexpected and sad. That she's just like everyone else. I was hoping for some dirt. Found out a friend's dad was physically abusive to her mom and cheated on her mom, Found my brother's throwaway account. No way in hell he'd use it for business. Looks like dad died. Threads like this are why I hide my subscribed subreddits and delete my username every so often and make a new one. Found my ex commenting on porn using the same pet names he would use for me. It was actually great because it killed any residual feelings I had for him. My ex asking for nudes and phonetics. I was right next to him when I found it. He gave me his secret username instead of his normal one accidentally when I asked him. Yeah, silly me too. I just laughed it off and tried to not make a deal about it because it was really embarrassing what he wrote and I couldn't really talk to my friends about it. Should have noped out then and there. So a buddy of mine recently got Snapchat and had a very unique username that deals with where we grew up. When I saw that username auto-populate on my Snap, I immediately knew it was him. You can imagine how shocked I was when I saw how active that same username is in Naughty from Neglect and Rayob. He married one of my best friends, so I was really surprised to see him activity search and even more shocked when all his posts are looking for males only. That they were gay and opinionated. That they were transgender, I was oblivious and then everything made sense. They are strongly opinionated on the idea of circumcision. Like extremely opposed to it. I'm extremely close with this person and I had absolutely no clue how passionate they were about the subject. Not Reddit, but another community. If they are on Reddit I haven't seen anything yet. But anyhow, sexual deviant. Very much into exhibitionism and public performances with a high risk of getting caught, either solo or with her hubby. I have found numerous secret accounts, all by pure accident, so I'll hit you with the highlights. Roommate has a friend he took headshots for and I recognized her chest tattoo. She posted a lot on a certain NSFW sub. Found 2 friends of mine on FetLife. One was married, and the other was her best friend. Found a girl who I went to high school's camming profile while browsing Pornhub. I'm like a accidental Sherlock Holmes for titties. I found co-workers and they are really lonely, insecure and post asking for a lot of advice. It is pretty sad. Then I got nervous they'd be able to somehow see my posts since I viewed their profile, so I went through and deleted my posts and account. I keep 2 accounts and the occasional alt. One account that I post in my city's sub and more identifying info. And another account I post in my profession field's job. My field is small enough that combined with my city and other comments posts, anyone who knows me could put it together. So I keep it separate. So I had felt for a while that my girlfriend's family didn't like me, but whenever I said anything to her about it, she insisted I was wrong and just imagining it. Then I found her brother's Reddit profile. He and I are fans of the same baseball team and in a post on that team's sub I saw a post that sounded just like him. Clicked on the username and it was definitely him. Lots of identifying details. So I start scrolling through, and sure enough he has posted several times things like, "My family and I hate my sister's boyfriend." It hurt my feelings. And I also felt like my girlfriend kinda gaslit me by insisting I was wrong. But I will say one thing made me feel better. He did a post on "Am I the asshole?" about whether he's an asshole for not wanting to invite me to family stuff, and basically everyone said he's the asshole because his reasons for not liking me are really shallow and stupid. Man, I wish people would include how they found out. I didn't find out anything about them. I just saw their bare ass. His wife has a masquerade mask used to document their naughty times. He was into dolls. It wasn't shocking, but I still don't quite understand it. I found out one of my 2 best friends has been a closeted homosexual for at least 3 years. Well, mine wasn't exactly secret, but I didn't exactly advertise it either. A friend from college found it, and through my posts he found out that I had a massive crush on him. Long story short, we're getting married in 2 months. You did it, Reddit. I had a fairly new co-worker that moved back home to care for his sick mom. A couple months later he asked management if he could come back and they said yes. He must have been having trouble coping with something, because he disappeared sometime in the afternoon on his first day back. A day or 2 after he disappeared, a post was made on a local subreddit that was obviously him based on what I knew about him. He was just asking if anyone wanted to hang out because he didn't have many friends. I got really worried and asked him if everything was okay. He never responded and deleted his Reddit account shortly after. Anyway, he was really into weed and programming. We could have been really good friends. My friends have found my Reddit main ACC since my dumbers linked it with my Discord. Jason, if you see this, you're dumb as hell, mayo. He talked mad it about even his best friend and secretly despised some of us. My best friend is dating his, but I stopped talking to him. So did my best friend. That they like to have their ass filled. Some people, they're friendly. They'll ask if you want a coffee if they're making a run to Starbucks. You just don't think, hey, this person likes a zucchini up the old back door. I haven't found any, but just out of curiosity, how does one go about finding out someone's account? Even my email is something completely off the wall that no one short of a deep web hacker would be able to trace back to me. Or did I just answer my own question? That they were secretly talking it about me. Always knew he was kind of rich, and when I saw his response to an AskReddit question, who's your friend who you secretly don't like and what did they do, I saw his true feelings about me. Oh, Noah, is that you? Reading this response? Duck off. She boasted in a thread about being right when telling my ex-husband that I have BPD, and she was so smug about it. I do not. I'm actually not diagnosed with anything a year after my separation and doing it loads of work on myself. If she stalks me too, I want her to know both my therapist and doctor agree that I'm 100% mentally stable. I know for a fact that one of my friends found my account because I was talking about a comment I made that had a surprising number of upvotes, and he went looking during the dance session and told me he clicked the follow button. I'm not exactly secretive about my Reddit use and don't try to hide anything about it, even if I also don't generally advertise it either. I'm the same person on Reddit as I am in real life, so it doesn't bother me too much. But I definitely bring up the fact I'm on probation to random internet strangers when it's at all relevant, much more than I ever would to people I know in real life, though I don't think I've actually said what the charges are except in person to my closest friends. He hasn't brought it up, and I have no idea how actively he stalks me, but my charges are just a Google away since he knows my name, and it's nothing I've talked to him about in real life. I feel like if he did let curiosity get the better of him, though, it might answer a couple questions he might have about my family dynamic that are a little different from what it used to be as a result of my mistakes. Porn. So much porn. What's his username? Asking for a friend. I won't do him like that. You're asking for a friend's secret account when there's literally thousands of subreddits for porn? Yes. Who the hell has non-secret profiles? He was exactly who I thought he was. It turns out that sometimes a great friend is also a great person. Edit. AU. Thank you for the gold. That a couple of things he will occasionally deride as weird or doesn't get, he is in fact quite a bit into. And by quite a bit I mean a lot into. That she's actually been in love with my dumbass for the last 5 years and now we're dating. Update. We broke up a week ago. Sorry to disappoint. My friend thinks that incest is totally okay and should be legalized nationwide. That one threw me for a loop. If you're reading this, check my post history and you'll know who I am, buddy. P. My boyfriend opened Reddit on my computer and noticed I was logged in, I guess didn't find it but still, and wondered why I had so much karma. Realized I mostly post cat stuff and called me cute. I don't think he's looked at it since. Obsession with Brie Larson. Surprisingly racist for a man married to an immigrant. She has a lot more mental struggles than she lets on, and is also much more sexually active than I would have expected. I found out my best friend is a gay furry. He has strict Catholic parents, so I never saw it coming. Doesn't change my friendship with him though. That he served in the army for 10 years, but is also going to high school at 11 and also manages to juggle 3 jobs and a kid while also going through a divorce. I didn't know he had such a crazy life. I was crushed to discover many of his funny anecdotes were stories from Reddit and 4chan he stole and said happened in his own life. He commented on most of them asking details and really strange comments. It was pretty sad. I automatically think people know who I am on any and all social media sites, so I don't post something that I don't care if someone finds out. My friends and family may be surprised that I'm romantic, but everything else is widely known in my circle. Found my roommate's D-pic soy. I think I found my hot friend's nude Reddit. We went to HS together. One of my friends found this account and that's how I was basically forced to come out, so that was fun. Someone I know online looked up one of my other usernames and found my Reddit account. Luckily they can only get glimpses since they don't use Reddit. Not Reddit but another social media site. It was a neighbor and for a while co-worker. Nudes, flashing, porn, weed, at a job where there's zero tolerance. Group sec. Him and his wife definitely had fun. Edit. Group sec is group 6. I found one of my co-workers, who was in a long-term monogamous hetero relationship, was trying to become a sexy pen pals with a trans woman. Whatever floats your boat, but I did not expect that from him. A conservative young guy from the rural Midwest. I work with youth at risk, so I'm obviously not allowed to let any of the kids I work with on FB or social media, but they'll stalk me regularly, find my secret accounts, find my YouTube, and then I'll try to tell a story and they'll say, "Yo, I already know." One kid told me they took screenshots of my posts and kept them on their phone. That was a little weird, to be honest. They even found my kinda slutty Insta I used to follow yaoi, anime, K-pop, and post cute more feminine stuff. The problem with working with youth is they are better at technology than me. It makes me feel like a celebrity, but it's frustrating cause I can't really post on anything anymore without having to double think about it in case one of my kids finds it. I set a bad example. Or, they'll go full creep and take screenshots. Reddit, you are my safe place. Please don't change. They browsed a subreddit entitled B Porn. I found out some stuff I shouldn't know about the damned campaign he's running. Reading through this thread, I'm a bit scared that a friend would find my Reddit profile, but then I realized I don't have any friends. He was extremely obsessed with wrestling. Posted on every possible wrestling based subreddit with some regularity. We love him all the more for it. Found out one of my friends was into crossdressing and posted a lot of NSFW pics. He looked like a very convincing girl. He figured out I knew when I said his username during a conversation about Reddit. He just went quiet, looked at me and said, "So, what I think?" I chuckled and said, "Do what you wanna do, I'm not gonna judge." He's still a good friend. I found an account with multiple sets of face pics that look exactly like someone I know, but a post from only 2 months ago says they're in a different state, so I'm thoroughly confused. I only know of them. I doubt they know me. We went to the same camp and go to the same youth group, but their first post was some weird fetish thing, so yeah, I'm never bringing it up. Pup play. He loves putting on a hood, going to leather fetish bars on a leash, and acting like a human dog hybrid. He said it helps him decompress and it's mostly psychological. The most interesting part was how often and vehemently he denied being a furry. I know it may sound like splitting hairs to me, but it's definitely had notes of he who doth protest too much. He's as gay as me. Sadly, also racist. I'm not sure, but I had a conversation with someone recently and I'm paranoid it might be my ex-husband trying to duck with me. Oh well. I found my husband's Reddit account and discovered he says a lot of really nice things about me and IDK, that's what I'm living for y'all. Found out my good friend really likes the show 90 Day Fiancé registered sign. Like loves it. Haha. I hope he somehow sees this. I got nothing against it, but he's a big tough tatted up Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's awesome. There's an old Artifu post about a mother who found her son's Reddit account, only to learn things she never wanted to know about his sexuality in addition to finding out he had discovered her love chest. I found out my best friend's Reddit account and honestly the only shocking thing about it was his username, which had cunt in it. A word he doesn't use, I roll. The only things he posted were a few threads where he was trying to sell tickets back when he had season tickets to the Bulls and a comment giving someone career advice in his field. It was all pretty normal. Not a friend, an ex-BF that gave himself away by a code we used to use on a sub he knew I'd eventually see. His entire profile was posts to relationship and advice subs on how to get me back and how to get over heartbreak. It made me really sad. I was a bad person when we dated and I clearly ducked him up. He was a good dude and I hope he finds somebody that makes him forget about me. Recognized my HR lady in our fishing, turns out she's pretty normal. He talks dirty to fat chicks. It's weird cause his wife is a fit rock climber. Not a friend but a classmate I know decently well. 2 words, furry, porn. They are not the type of person I would have thought would post that stuff on Reddit. A dude I've known for upwards of 5 years frequents the front page of a sub I frequent. He made a post on it one day that had reached 2nd or 3rd most upvoted that entire week. I only found out about this when he told me he made the post. That he's a lurker. My roommate left his phone unlocked once. I opened his Reddit and wrote down his username. Later I went and looked up his account. It was a 3-year-old account with exactly 1 comment. Someone else had made a 69 joke and he said nice. Found my best friend's account from a post she showed me and decided to snoop through her posts and comments. She commented a lot to group therapy and breakup support threads when her boyfriend broke up with her. I knew she was upset but I didn't realize how depressed she actually was at the time. It kind of makes me feel like a bad friend. But I only knew as much as she let on to. K. If you're reading this, I'm sorry. I found the guy who I was dating at the time. He commented on an r/askman thread, what's something you want to brag about right now? He said I had sex with 4 girls in the last 3 nights. He said this 2 months into dating him. Immediately asked him to get an ST check and said I never wanted to see him again. He still has no clue how I found out, but really I'm just a massive snoop and he shouldn't have gone one Reddit around me. Wait, people can find my Reddit account? Are there any measures I can so this doesn't happen? Cause, you know, porn.